Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Matters a Goat. Now, in previous episodes of Matters Goat, I've whinged a lot about Apple products, especially the iPhones, iPads and all this shit, and saying that it's overrated and overpriced. Well, I just happened to come across a very cheap iPhone 5, and I will concede to a few things, but is this worth the $1,200 that it was retailed at originally? Held to the motherfucking no. No, this iPhone 5 is not worth that much. At most, $500 is what it should have come out as. It's worth $500. I only spent $450 on it, so I am getting my money's worth as far as I'm concerned. But unfortunately, even though I hadn't used or had Apple products before this iPhone, I had to deal with iTunes and whatnot, setting it up for other people in my family. Now, if you're a novice with computers and you buy an iPhone and you're not familiar with the software, you are fucked. You're never going to figure it out unless you go on Google or ask a bunch of people who use Apple. My God, the rocket science with this goddamn phone. You have to remember, I've been a long-time user of Android. I really like Android. It's fast, it's efficient, and it's easy. The comparison would be, obviously, Android is Windows and Apple is, well, Apple. And Apple's always tedious, and Apple always wants you to give so much information that it should be criminal. Like, for instance, with the App Store or Google Apps or Google Play, whatever it is on Android, you simply just need an email. That's it. The email, boom, you're in. Off you go. Download till your heart's content. Whatever's there, it'll be on your phone within minutes. It's also fast at downloading apps. It does apps, boom, Android does it like that. Unbelievable. But this motherfucker, this Apple motherfucker, it wants credit card information, it wants my full title and name and an email and a home address, all this shit just to go on the App Store so I can download Facebook. And then once you get there, it's not very user-friendly. It's a bit of a pain in the ass in comparison to Android. Android, it's very easy to click it and download it. It starts straight away. This motherfucker, okay, this thing was advertised as having a revolutionary screen with bright colors and retina display and all this shit. The touchscreen on this is shit in comparison to the S4. The previous phone I had was the Samsung S4, or it's basically the Samsung S4 but Android branded. Anyway, that thing has an excellent touchscreen. You touch something and it responds every time. This thing, the keyboard, not so bad. The keyboard's a lot better than Android, I'll give it that. But let's say you write a comment on Facebook and it's a long blurb and you're like, whoops, left something out there. I want to just go back to there and add in the little bit that I missed. You're going to go through so much shit. It's going to take you like 2 minutes just to get back to that point. Because the response is terrible. Like for general things like opening apps and stuff like that, fine. But when it comes to small things, it doesn't even compete with Android. Android, you can go, boom, I'm back, and type it in, and boom, back to the bottom, easy, done. This thing, you're clicking, and it's selecting and highlighting and moving things and fucking you around to the point where you're just like, fuck it, and you just give up on the goddamn comment. It's painful in that sense. Another thing that's annoying about it, and I have whinged about this a lot, is obviously iTunes. What a tedious pain in the ass that is. They say, oh, it's so you can back it up and you can all this argy-bargy shit. But first you got to register it on the phone, then you got to register it on the computer, then you got to link the thing together, and then you can finally put shit on it. And, that obvious complaint that everyone has about Apple, this phone is now locked to the computer I have now. If that computer fucks up, I basically can't plug it into any computer without losing absolutely everything. And that's what will happen. If I plug this into someone else's computer, all gone. Fucking ridiculous. And people, spent fucking $1,200 on these when they came out. I'd be pissed off. I mean, for $1,200, I should just be able to say the band name, discography, and it should just download the whole lot off iCloud or something for free. I mean, $1,200 is a lot of money. $450 that I spent for it is still a lot of money. But, I will deal with the little bullshit things that Apple likes to do because, of the price. But my God, the science behind every little fucking thing, it's just over the top. Yes, there are a few features that are a lot better than Android. Music player, Android can't touch Apple. I mean, the music player on this is fucking excellent. And with 32 gig, there's plenty of room to put a couple of songs on there. I mean, it does music fucking perfectly. I mean, the iPhone 5, it's a really good iPod. That's what I'd say. But a lot of the other things are really annoying. And my main thing that pisses me off is the touchscreen. Because it's not even as good as the S4. Now, the S4 you can get for $600 or less. And better touchscreen, better accessibility. It does tethering, which this doesn't. It does everything you could ever want, and maybe on occasion it lags a little bit. I'll deal with the lag because it does everything perfectly, and you click it and boom, it does it. This thing doesn't lag. A good feature of it. It's a little bit faster. Another good feature. It's painful to do the simplest thing on it. That is a real letdown. So now I have this Apple product. I've been able to do an actual whinge about it, you know, from a user standpoint. I've used Android and Apple, and overall I'm speaking, Android is better. Okay, as a smartphone, go with the Samsung Note or whatever. The Android brand is so much better as a smartphone, but the iPhone is much better with music. Okay, Android can't touch it. It always sounds like shit through the Android phones, but this does it perfectly. No complaints with the music part on this. A lot of the other features are a bit painful. Even the updating of the email, like my emails don't come in as fast on this one. You have to click on it and then you have to refresh it and then you have to wait for it to load and shit. A little bit tedious. Maybe I haven't figured out the automatic update. I don't know. Another thing that's annoying with this is the settings. With your Samsung, everything's in a little tiny space, everything, and it's all clearly labelled. Even someone who's never used a smartphone will be able to understand it and use it. The settings shit on this, holy fuck. It took me ages just to find the import SIM contacts, which shouldn't even exist for $1,200. It should do it automatically like the Android phones do, which annoyed me because you put your SIM in the Android and whatever contacts are on your SIM automatically loaded. This one you have to import them. Too much rocket science with these phones. If you can get an iPhone 5 really cheap and you really like music, do it. Because you can put so much music on there with the convenience of having your apps there, even though they're a little bit painful to use. But otherwise, if you're a person who just likes the social media side and the games and all that, definitely go with the new Android shit coming out. So that's my product review on the iPhone 5. I hope you enjoyed it. Matt has a good